So, we're here at the studio of SchuellerdeWaal, and we're visiting Rens and
Hi.
Philip. And we want to talk about the subject materials and fabric and how they use this in the collection. But maybe, Rens, you can first tell us a little bit about the brand or what you guys are doing. Yeah.
Yeah, we are like SchuellerdeWaal, and we are a women's wear label. Kijk nou,
Yeah.
I'm looking at you.
Yeah,
now,
you
right?
look at me. That's a good idea.
And we do compact women's wear collection, but we also mainly work as a studio, a creative studio. So we do like lots of freelance work for fashion companies that are a little bit more oriented around the art direction. Sometimes trend forecast, collection planning. So yeah, more business related jobs. And then we also do some more artistic projects, mostly with art institutions. And that's also then more the art direction part in that sense. And then next to that we do compact fashion collections and other independent projects that give our vision on how fashion is now and how things are changing. I don't know if I should already. Yeah, we're more like also giving a different function to fashion for us as designers, so we see more fashion as a sort of a therapy.
Yeah, I think it's also interesting what you guys do because we just had a talk about that, and it's also interesting for the students that, you know, when you're like having a antenna, as you call it, for as a fashion designer, then you think differently and you can help in another way and you can express yourself in another way than only through collections. And in this little clip, we will talk about materials, and in another lesson, we will talk about shows and events, which might be interesting because it doesn't have to be always about product. So that's actually what you guys bring. It can also tell a story without showing a product. So that's, I think it's very new and interesting what you guys do.
Or it can be that the product is not necessarily the garment,
Yeah.
but the spirit around it.
Exactly, that is absolutely true. But when we look at collection, the compact collections you were talking about,
Yeah.
and we want to give some insights in how you guys work with fabric, with materials.
Mhm.
Is this question too open, or can you already say something about how do you work with materials? Is it a starting point, or is it a minor thing in the collections, or
Yeah, it
how
has
do you
its
see
own function in our process, I think, because we work a lot with leftover stock of Italian fabrics.
Yeah.
So it's basically we also get inspired by what we find.
It's a little bit like collectors, I think.
Nice, okay.
We constantly on the lookout for fabrics which we could either get a hold of in bigger quantities or quite small quantities, but then we really look at it in a way that we see it as the resource of fashion, like something like oil. It's something which has a big, worth to it,
Yeah.
a value to it.
Yeah.
Maybe not necessarily just the value in money that it has, but that we in that way also look at it in a different way than how fashion used to look at it. That you had
Absolutely.
a certain fabric for one season, but we try to really stretch fabrics across several seasons until we really exploited it and we really used everything up.
Super.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same
Yeah.
with production leftovers and
Yeah, very
this kind of
sustainable
things,
mindset also. And also that you don't, because in a lot of commercial companies you make like, because we will also talk in this lesson about collection plans, and that you just already have a matrix, and that you know I need 5 pants and I need 2 in a casual look and I need 3 in a more city kind of look, and that you already screen that and you already invented that and it has to be there, and you don't have the fabrics, and this is just totally not how you guys work. So when we hear this, so you come across something or not, but what you come across of, and that you really feel inspired, then you're going to think, okay, how can we communicate? How can
Yeah.
we research
Yeah.
this? Correct?
But it's not we don't use the fabrics as the starting point of the collection. So we
okay.
have like a different concept that's comes more from our vision as the studio. So that can be different every
Yeah.
time. And then these fabrics, they flow in and they direct us also into a different.
Maybe we have to give an example,
Yeah.
because I guess in a
Super.
classical way, when you look at how you build up fabrics in a collection, it's really like you create your fabric image, and then you have all the shapes you have in the collection, and then you kind of team them up and see, okay, in which fabrics will we have this blouse, and how you said it, okay, this pants we need twice, so we have this and this
Exactly.
fabric.
Yeah.
But how we like to look at it is also that we kind of realize a strategic thought behind our collections that is possible for us as a very tiny independent design studio. So we also have something like, okay, why do we have to make a collection of 60 items which you can turn into 120 looks if you want to? Or you can combine everything with everything. Why can't we just say, okay, it's about either one specific product or one specific combination of products or a silhouette, and these we translate into multiple fabric combinations. So we offer different styles of, for example, one specific blouse, but they actually are completely mismatching in colors and
Yeah.
fabrics, but that's also what kind of feels more innovative.
Absolutely.
Like, for example, I mean, you can also, when you look at the bigger houses, you can see it at a Gucci, for example, where it's totally not about the perfect balance in a
No.
lineup of a collection
No,
anymore,
not
but
anymore.
about this sort of
True.
schizophrenic
Yeah,
appearance
hysterical.
of different visions.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
should be. I mean, the fabric should be, of course, linked to the right product, and that it also becomes the best way of using it, instead of
Exactly.
forcing it into a place where maybe it doesn't come to its full potential.
That's what I meant, Rens, when I described. And you guys know, because for the record, you guys worked at a very commercial company like Hugo Boss, so you met each other there, and so you know how it works in another industry, and you know
Yeah.
you're exploring how things can be differently. So yeah, well, that's okay. Thanks. That's a really interesting story about materials. Super.